Another video. This is a new mini series as part of the overall iOS app development course that we've been having. It's the specific Apple course that's called Develop in Swift Explorations. Much of the content that you're going to see as part of the app development is actually called from the Develop in Swift Explorations handbook, which is available for free on the App Store. So, for this mini series, our focus here is going to be on developing an app that's called Rock, Paper, and Scissors. This is based on a popular game uh, that's called Rock, Paper, and Scissors again, and I'm going to lay out the mechanics of the game, and then eventually in other parts of the video we're going to try to work out the details and see how we're going to move that from just a regular game into the computer, where in this case you would be one of the players in the game and you'll be playing against the app or the computer as it were. So I'm going to go discuss what this game is all about and the rules of the game and how everything works out. So like I mentioned, usually the game would involve two players, in this case yourself and the computer. Usually it's just two random people playing the game. And usually at the count of 2 or 3, each of you would make a sign at the exact same time with one of your hands. And what happens is, in this case, the sign, as you can see here on the screen, is either a rock, which is represented by a closed fist, then or you have a paper, which is represented by an open palm, and then or you have a scissors, which is 2 fingers that open like the V or the victory sign. So each of the signs can beat the other, and I'm going to show you the precedence on how that works. Eventually, I'm going to show you a table in the next slides, but essentially what's happening here is that the rock is going to smash, has precedence, right? We'll be able to smash the scissors. So if I present rock and the app or the other player presents scissors, I win, because rock can smash scissors. But if I present scissors and they present paper, of course I win, because the scissors can cut paper. Or if I present paper and they present rock, immediately I win, because we assume that the paper can wrap over rock. That's how this is set up. So, however, if both players present the same sign, for example, rock and rock, scissors and scissors, paper or paper, we consider that a draw and nobody wins. So that's essentially how the game works. So let me show you a more elaborate description of what we have here. So if yourself, you show rock and then the app shows scissors, you win. But if you show rock and the app shows paper, you lose. And then on and on. And what I didn't include here is when you have rock and rock, in other words, similar signs being shown by yourself and the app. So essentially, that's how it works. So for our specific case, how this is going to run is we're going to create an interface, and if you tap one of the signs, so we're going to create an interface and we're going to create representations of the rock, paper, and scissors. Now you, for example, start playing. If you tap one of the signs, say you tap rock, right? The app would randomly choose one of the other signs, and then depending on what happens between your signs, you either win or you lose, and vice versa for the app. And for developing the entire application, we're actually going to use what is called a model view controller design pattern. It could also be referred to as model view controller app architecture, whatever. But I'm gonna do a more in-depth video to actually talk about the differences between app architectures and design patterns and all of that. But the whole idea of MVC, like several other app architectures or design patterns, right, would be to create some kind of structure around how you do your code, so that some things, for example, data, right, everything that has to do with data, which is like the properties of the particular object, will be in model, and then the view will be everything you want to display, and then the controller would be that's part, the interface, right, that talks to the model and the app. And we're going to talk a little more about that in a future video. And usually, the reason why you use, this app architectures and design patterns, right, is to be able to create structure around your app development, so that you end up being able to create organized applications, right, using reusable solutions. And it actually makes you a better programmer, and you end up with very efficient, manageable, and flexible codes. So that's the whole idea. So like I mentioned, you need to watch out for my next video, where I'm going to be discussing app architectures and design patterns, and I'm going to tell us what the difference is, even though they are used interchangeably sometimes. But there's some difference between app architectures and design patterns. And then I'm going to give us examples, and I'm going to actually demonstrate and show how you can use these app architectures and design patterns to create very structured codes. So sometimes when I'm teaching students, right, you type some lines of code up, and then you scroll down and type. They don't really understand why you're moving around. But what's happening is, just think of it like you just moved into a new house, right? And that house has a sitting room, a bathroom, a couple of bedrooms, and a kitchen. When you're bringing in your property, right, notice that you don't take everything to the bedroom or to the sitting room. You're distributing your property, and all of your supplies to different rooms depending on what that specific room is. So some things are supposed to go into the kitchen, some into the bathroom, some into the sitting room or your living room, and all of that. So these structures, app structures, actually creates that kind of structures for you, so that when you begin to code, you can actually begin to move in your code in different areas, and at the end of the day, everything actually works out. So that would be where I end with these specific videos, and I'm going to go to part 2 eventually, to have us begin to work on the game, more or less the development of the game. I hope this video is helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.